fine. So yesterday we are in the discussion of the product implementation with respect to Power BI only. So as part of that, we identified like uh, we are done with dimensional modeling and book wise maximum amount paid we calculated. City wise last 7 days of number of transactions we captured, and the number of transactions for today, yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days we accomplished with the help of like Power BI, like by applying a filter, date filter. Okay, so that is what we done by yesterday. Okay, so you can see last 1 day how many transactions, like today how many. Last we are able to provide a filter. For yesterday generic filter we cannot able to provide, and at the same time last 7 days, last 30 days we provide a filter, and then after I mentioned that bus we can achieve, or you can represent that one in the same way with the help of a separate methods you can create and you can make it, I mentioned. And at that time it was some time was wasted and we stopped the session. Okay, so now we are going to continue with that, like how you can able to achieve the last like yesterday, last 7 days, last 30 days with the help of DAX expression. So before continuing to that, just give me 1 second, let me check whatever the formula that I have. Why I selected all limit. Okay, fine. So here for today we already calculated that a measure, we written a calculate function and we provide a condition that where the date equals to today, it is going to validate it's today or not, it is getting the data. And the next one is we are going to get the yesterday's data. So whenever we are calculating the about yesterday's data, like it is having some issue with whatever the function that we are writing, so what we are doing is, as part of calculate function, what a calculate function need to do is it need to calculate the number of transactions or sales amount for only yesterday. So it need to consider yesterday record. How you can do is, like you can provide a filter on the records, filter the table name, the table name is the sample data, and we are going to provide an expression that you need to filter for yesterday. Yesterday, how you can calculate yesterday is like date add of like date column which you have in a sample data and number of intervals. We are going to add one for a day which must be equals to today. For 25th January, if we add 1 day, it cannot become today, right? So we are going to add 1 day to that existing dates, whichever equals to today. I will consider that one as the previous day. So I provide a filter up for that and executing it. So yesterday it was calculated. So here yesterday it is going on. So if you have a question that, boss, you mentioned you are getting one value, I'm not sure that one value belongs to yesterday or not. If you have that question, what you can do is, here I written a filter expression, right? What filter is going to do? It is going to get only yesterday's information. On that yesterday's information, we are calculating the number of transactions. If you might have some question doubt here, so capture only that one and go to modeling, create a new table, write the expression over here and validate it. Whether this table 2 is getting yesterday's information or old information. So if it is getting yesterday's information, then fine. The table 2 is containing the information regarding yesterday, right? It is not having a long back information or any other information. It is getting. So then it is fine. So yesterday's data, if you want to capture dynamically, you can do like this. And the next one is last 7 days transactions. Last 7 days transactions you require through a dynamic expression again. So here sample data like yesterday, what you need to do is you need to provide last 7 days, like new measure nt underscore last 7 days. So here what you need to do is, so we are going to filter a table, like I want to give only last 7 days information to that calculate function. So here the date add of like -7, like -7 is going to give the 7 days data. Okay, is greater than or equals to, greater than or equals to whatever the date that you have, date column. So I am capturing a 7 days back date that is equivalent to on that 7 days are greater than that one. So click on enter. So last 7 days not giving anything, and let's verify what is that expression is giving. Last 7 days, go to that table expression, table 2, instead of that previous one, now I am writing this latest one. Is it getting a last 7 days or not? You need to validate it. Is not getting anything. So sample date 7 days back, a transaction date add of sample transaction date, we are going to add -7 for a date. So it is going to get, let's assume 25th. 25th is greater than or equal to 25th is greater than or equal to the overall date, yes, but you need to verify a condition from this side. Control X, as the other one is expression, right? So is the transaction date is greater than 25th or not. Okay, so now is greater than or equal to date add of this one. You can see one second. So we are verifying that filter of this one, the sample date is greater than or equal to date add of this one. What is the date add of this one? Date add of this one must return only 7 days back data. Why? It returned 529 records. So it should not be transaction date. It must be one second. Last 7 days. It is going to give, like, for each and every day, it is going to select last 7 days and transaction. Just give me a second. Last 30 days. Why can't? It is not able to take. Just give me a second, like, we are done with the yesterday's one, and we are going to deal the last 7 days. If it is done with, then last 30 days also is easy. So here the measure last 7 days are dated what logic you can use. Sample transaction date. In my other place it was worked because my report contains only last 30 days data. It was not shown any error. It is not containing any data. But our report contains a long data. It must like we need to provide another logic to get only the last 7 days. So last 7 days. One second. Greater than or equal to one second. We can get top PN records. what I can use is the values of sample data date and orderable expression t date. I'm writing an expression which is going to give only last 7 days of records. Let me test it. You can consider, you can see the last 7 records it is getting, but February, yeah, last 7 days records you are getting, fine. So now what I can do is, as part of my table 2, in table 2 I am going to take, or I can provide that last 7 days expression which is going to give last 7 days. I am going to provide it as part of this place, like that, greater than or equal to, that other dates are these things, and the main table is sample data. In a sample data table we are verifying the dates column, all the dates we are verifying whether those dates are greater than or equal to this list. If yes, get it. So now this expression must return last 7 days information only, table 2. So here at our table of multiple values was supplied where there is a single value, current expression occurs here. So data filter, this is the table name and this is the condition, and this is returning values. So a table of multiple values was applied. Let me capture the complete expression. So I can mention greater than or equal to, instead of I can mention in the table of multiple values was supplied where a single value was expected. Single value was expected. If you are expecting a single value, so what I can do is greater than or equals to min of So here the issue is The values return type is a table. Okay, we require a column. We require a column. Its return type is table. So one second. Next. Returns a given number of top rows according to the specified expression. Top rows to a specified. I need to capture the minimum value of it. We have a min-x function as there, which can take a table as input, and from that we can take a column as a fine. We'll check that one only. Top n send transaction date greater than or equal to must be able to return the last 7 records as part of a filter. The filter values of tdate. I require only tdate. Dates, tdate, the number of intervals. In SQL Server you can add like for a get date you can add it, like for a function you can add it, but here you cannot add it. So -7 and interval day -7 days back data. Let me create a one measure which can get the last 7 days data simply. Measure, for a measure you can add it, I think. But today and it was created with without any error. Fine. -7 in date add. Okay, so I'm able to capture last 7 days back, whatever the date it is, with the help of a measure by capturing a max x, and this is the expression that I had. Like we reduced like we 7 days back data, like I captured with the help of this measure. Okay, so now let me rename it. Date, last 7 days date. So here we we are going to filter now that your sales data, like sample data of date greater than or equal to last 7 days date. Okay, so until last 7 days it need to table 5. I am creating table 5 returning everything in descending order. This last 7 days date is returning a 25th January last 7 days date. Then why the expression is not returning at all? Data. Sample data T date. I'm not sure, like we have some issue with this. Okay, so I was able to capture in the complete sample data last 7 days data. We are able to retrieve 25th Jan 2018. The same value when I am capturing with the help of like whenever I am writing another expression, it is not able to get the data, it is getting all the data. So I will check this one today and we will continue from here next session. Okay, so like I will check what is the formula. Like the formula is correct only, we need to take care of the logic. The logic is correct but it is having some issues. We'll check this one and we'll continue from here in the next session. Okay, so I don't want to postpone or cancel, like escape that one, so that's why I continued. But anyways, we'll close this one in next session. Okay, thanks much for joining. As it is not moving, I thought if it resolves I want to continue another 15 minutes of time. As it is not getting resolved, I'm just closing now. We'll continue from here in the next session. Okay, bye now. Have a good day all.